Hi, for those of you who do not know me, I'm Renee, also known as Miss HG Mercury from the Sunshine Coast Pinup School. I am a vintage stylist and a pinup photographer, and today I'm going to be talking about Pinup Perfection and if it's ruining your mojo. And it's going to also feature a new style which is not perfect. So, let's go. So obviously I'm not just going to sit here rambling, hopefully not too much. I'm going to be trying out a new hairstyle which lends perfectly into Pinup Perfection and perfectionism in general. So generally when you feel like things need to be perfect all the time, something that you're doing if you're trying a new skill and it's just not up to the standards that you want, it can sort of give you a bit of a restriction in what you do. You may not want to try new things. Even just getting into the style of pinup and vintage and retro styling can be quite daunting because you may feel like you're not perfect enough in the world of social media, and you see all these highly curated outfits and hair and makeup, and it can just be a bit unattainable for the day-to-day, and that can sort of hold you back if you do have that idea of pinup perfection in your head and you never want to try anything new, or if you try something new for the first time like a hairstyle or makeup technique or winged eyeliner and it's not perfect, it's not Instagrammable, and then you can get a little bit into yourself and feel down and like it's not even worth trying. So I am going to be trying a brand new hairstyle today in that vein, and it is from the lovely, which side should I put it? Let's put this side. It is from the lovely Ali Vintage. Now, I have followed Ali on social media for a few years, like pretty much from back when they first got married, and I love her positivity and her humor just on my feed every single day. So if you do not follow Ali, I highly suggest you go and follow her. And she just did a tutorial on how she does her styles, one of them which is the braided bangs, which I did include in last week's video, and I filmed before she put that out. But I'm going to be trying the other style that she does, and I've never actually tried this before. I do a similar version which I call the tuck under. So the hair, the way that Ali does it is she tucks the hair this way. I do a similar one, which is part of like a quick and easy style for me, which is the tuck under, which is basically like a ponytail tucked under. So I'm going to be trying that out today and giving a little bit of a chat about pinup perfectionism and is it ruining your mojo? I know it has. It has ruined my mojo personally, and I'm going to be a big contradiction right now in that you would have noticed that my tagline for the business, Sunshine Coast Pinup School, transform yourself into pinup perfection. I do love a bit of alliteration. That is why Pinup Perfection and Perfect Pout and all of that comes into my writing and my style, but it's kind of restricting pinup perfection, isn't it? And I know I'm not perfect, and it did hold me back a lot at the start. I will give you a few reasons. Number one, I bite my nails. I've always been a nail biter, and when I don't bite my nails, when I had earrings, I used to sit there and twirl my earrings. And it's just part of who I am. It's part of my nervous tick, and it's something I've only sort of accepted within the last few years. So if you go back to my earlier videos, then you will see that I had nails. I used to get my nails done, and I would actually not plan a video until I'd got my nails done. And then in that same thing, I used to have dark hair. So when I first started getting into pinup, I think, oh my gosh, is it like, oh, it's like 10 years ago now. I'm that old. But this is my natural hair color, and I had short hair, and I started curling my hair, and I loved all these styles. But in my head, the perfect pinup is Marilyn Monroe, of course. And then you see all of these girls on social media with that bleach blonde hair in those perfect curl sets, and I'm like, my hair is ugly. It's too dark. Like, this is what I thought. My hair's too dark. It's not a perfect pinup picture when I have it in a curl set. So I started bleaching my hair and turning it into that platinum blonde. And then when I had gone back and forth with black hair as well, and then I had black hair, and my hair grows really fast. Within a few weeks, like sometimes even just 1 week, I would have visible regrowth. And I used to wear a lot of scarf styles, and I would also never film a video or go to a workshop or do a photo shoot or anything unless I had my roots touched up. And also had my nails on. And then also, if you look through some of my older videos, I didn't think that my voice was something that people wanted to listen to. I'm a bit of a bogan. My mum says I'm a dag. And it's just, I felt like my natural alliteration is just not pinup perfect. I grew up in, like, when I first got into pinup, watching all of these American girls. There wasn't that too many Australian pinups talking on the internet. So if you look back at all my videos, I was just like, I did not talk. And then people would meet me at a workshop, and I made some really good friends by just being my casual self. So I've only just accepted my boganness in videos, as you can see if you've been a subscriber to the channel. Thanks for sticking around when you've heard my voice. So it has held me back a lot, and then only in the last few years, I think it may be like that mental thing we do once we turn 30 and we get a little bit older, you just start not giving a crap. And you start accepting yourself. I went back to my natural hair color, and I am embracing it, and I embrace the fact that I cannot physically be or mentally be pinup perfect every single day, and it can hold you back in a lot of things if you sit there and go, I want to wear this beautiful dress, but I haven't done my hair and makeup to do it justice, therefore I'm not a pinup perfect picture in my head. That dress does not deserve to be worn. Come on. And if you do an outfit and then you feel amazing, you take a picture, like an outfit of the day to post on social media, and it's not perfect in your eyes, it's not like beautiful lighting, professional hair and makeup, and then you may sit there and go, oh no, I actually don't feel that nice, now that you've seen that and held yourself up to the standard of pinup perfection. So enough rambling for now. Let's try out this hairstyle. So I've got a hair tie, some bobby pins, comb, hairspray, pomade. We'll see how messy it is. And then I've also got some, with hair attached to it, some matching flowers, of course, from Georgia Girl by Sandra. And that's going to be framing the side. So the first step is to put your hair up into a really high ponytail. I'm going to keep my bangs out because that is part of me. And I'm going to aim for my hair to go about there. So let's just see how I go. And can I also say that the perfectionist in me probably never should have gotten bangs. You can tell some days when you sit there, well, when I sit there, I should say, and I try to make sure they are perfectly lined up, perfectly curled, perfectly trimmed. And it can like really ruin my day if they're just not behaving, which is normally when I need to trim them and I'm just in denial because I don't want to wash my hair. And yeah, it's just, what is the point anymore? All right, let's try and get that as far forward as possible. Luckily my hair is long. Also, when me and my friend first started the Sunshine Coast Pinup School, she had shorter hair and was able to do all these beautiful vintage curl sets. And I had my really long black hair, so it was like longer than it is now. And it was the longest I've ever had my hair. And I also did not feel pinup perfect. And because I couldn't do all those cute little styles, and I was still learning myself in how to do hairstyling and how to do different lengths of hair and how I can get away with making my hair look shorter with my long hair. And yeah, it was just kind of ruining my mojo as well. I'm like, oh, my hair's too long, it's not vintage, it's not pinup. And yeah, that was just ruining my mojo too. So I've got like a really solid hair tie here. So I'm thinking I can go now with my halfie. Yeah. And then she sort of like pulls it to a point where it can hang down a bit. Yeah. It's go like that. And then, oh, my hair is so thick when I do this. Twist. Twist that around to hide the hair tie and pin into place. I'm gonna do two, one on each side, just because it's so thick. And you know, another thing too that can, woo, hello. Another thing too that can sort of ruin your mojo is the idea that vintage hair has to always be curled. And I try to reiterate that a lot with a lot of the videos that you'll see here and what I teach in my workshops, that you can do a lot of really cute styles with straight hair or without having to do a lot to your hair. And that's why I really like this style. So how are we going? Yeah. So she just spreads it. I guess you could tease this too if your hair wasn't as thick. So she just spreads it and then pins the sides down. Ready, and then this is my perfectionism coming out. It's not even. All right, so I'm just gonna grab some bobby pins and pin those sides into place, which I'm gonna put flowers there anyways. Which, yeah, if when you're starting, I say this in my hands-on workshop, when you are starting experimenting with styles and stuff, hair accessories are your best friend because they can hide any mistakes that you make. That's pretty cute. I'm just gonna give it a little spray. So yeah, if you are constantly wanting to be perfect all the time, you're probably not going to have fun in the style, to be honest, and experiment and try new things. Like, I remember when I first tried a poodle updo, I was like, oh no, that was terrible. And then I kept at it and I kind of like the style. So it's just about getting out of yourself and having fun and trying to remember that the idea of perfect and the idea of perfection is literally an idea. Not all ideas and ideals are attainable. So what is the point on beating yourself down about something that you probably can never attain anyways? And speaking of beating yourself down, I remember when I was a little baby pinup, if I can find, if I can be bothered, editing Renee, to find some photos of me when I first started dressing in the style, I used to actually beat myself up so much about winged eyeliner. Like before a car show, I would sit there and I would take it off and start again, take it off and start again, get like that shaky frustration in trying to do my eyeliner, which when you've got shaky hands, eyeliner is not your best friend anyways. And then I'd go to the car show and I got sunnies on the whole time. No one can see my eyes. So I was like, why did I beat myself up and feel so crappy inside about, and like making us late and getting all flustered about the fact that my eyeliner was not perfect. Like, they're never perfect. I always have a good eye and a bad eye. They are never perfect. And I say that they are not sisters or twins, they are cousins. And it's something that I would get so beat up about. Even when I was doing pageants as well. I'm up on a bloody stage so far away from everyone. From here, my eyeliner looks good. You can zoom in if you want. But I'm up on a stage so far away from everybody. You're not gonna notice if they're not identical. Like, come on. All right. So I think that is pretty cute. What do you think? All right, so I'm going to I'm gonna pop because these are my little sets. I will link a blog that I did a review on all of my Georgia Girl by Sandra hair flowers. These are my little sets, so they're like a big one and a small one. Ali uses 2 of the same, which I don't really have any big ones of the same. I think I'm going to pop the big one on this side and the smaller one on that side. Or do I go big on this side, small on that side? Maybe that evens it out a bit better. But then I sit there and go, well, this side looks better than this one, therefore I need to hide this side with the big one. All right, let's go against my fear right now and pop that one there. And I like how that one's that angle. Do I go that size or that one? Yeah, probably have the little leafies. That's what I love about these clips, is it's just like multiple angles that you can have them in your hair depending on what color, what flower you want up front. That is pretty cute. Get in there. Not perfect. All right, I'm gonna try. Let's go the other angle with this one. And then I go and pull it out. Oh my gosh. Oh. Sometimes it's like, is it worth the risk? Is it worth the risk of rearranging a flower sometimes? Bobby pin to the rescue. Stick that in there. All right, so keep in mind, this is actually the first time I've ever tried this hairstyle. So the next time I do it is probably going to be a little bit neater, here's hoping. But, man. All right, you know what? That is going to be spread a little bit more. And sprayed. And then I'm just gonna pin this, you know, that little bit higher. Then maybe once I put the flower in, it's not gonna squish it too much. Yeah. Wasn't this the perfect idea? Thank you, Renee. Let's talk about Pinup Perfection and trying a new hairstyle and it not going to plan. Get in there, man. Okay. You've probably had enough of me being pedantic with my hair, but I think that's pretty cute, and with this top it gives me like full 60s vibes as well. That's a pretty awesome hairstyle. Not too sure what it looks like on the back. It feels fairly smooth, and if I have managed to cover that hair tie. But yeah, so take this as a lesson learned. I hope some of I don't know if I call it wisdom, but I hope some of my rambling has helped you think about the internal dialogue that you've got in your head when you're doing pin-up and vintage styling. Like, also, I'm not a purist. This is not a vintage top. This is a modern pattern that I made and I liked the fabric. So, like, I'm not a purist. Not everything I wear is vintage or actually fully vintage inspired. I just style it the way that I want, and most of the stuff that I make my patterns from, half of it is vintage patterns and then half of it is just stuff that I've styled to make it look vintage. Like I like these big sleeves. So yeah, just think about that internal dialogue when you are getting ready, when you're doing stuff, when you're within like the community as well. If you see someone that is like so perfect to you, and I go through, I talk a little bit about this in my blog, what is pinup to you? The first like woman that I saw out in public, she was the picture perfect ideal of pinup to me. That was my first exposure to it. But you know, you never know what's going on in someone's head. She might have been like, oh, my curls aren't sitting the way that I want today, or you know, my dress is bunching, therefore it's not perfect. You know, you never know what's going on in someone's head. And if we keep holding ourselves to the idea of pinup perfection, will we actually progress and have fun in the style, when that's the reason why we got into it in the first place, isn't it? So please take my transform yourself into pinup perfection and perfect pout and all that with a grain of salt, and understand that perfectionism is something that is an actual mental thing, a mental thing that can affect you medically and health-wise if you let it drag you down, and just be the best version of yourself. And if that version is accepting your flaws and just being comfortable in your own skin, then that is the whole point of pinup. Until next time.